Einen wunderschönen guten Morgen. Mein Name ist Patrick Ganzmann und ich heiße Sie zu unserem Webinar zu dem heißen Thema B2B-Marktplätze herzlich willkommen. Warum sind B2B-Marktplätze so spannend? Wir sehen eine starke Wachstumsdynamik im B2B-Segment. Hier steckt enormes Entwicklungspotenzial. Allen Expertenschätzungen zufolge hat der B2B-Online-Markt den B2C-Markt deutlich an Wachstumsdynamik überholt. Das Marktvolumen im B2B-Onlinehandel wird das Marktvolumen im B2C in den nächsten beiden Jahren je nach Schätzung teilweise um ein Mehrfaches übersteigen. Dennoch haben wir es hier mit einem fragmentierten Markt mit noch relativ wenigen Online-Playern zu tun. Bisher ist der europäische Markt stark fragmentiert. Er besteht weitgehend aus Nischenanbietern, das heißt, dominante Marktführer fehlen. Warum ist das so? Die Akteure im B2B-Handel stehen teilweise noch am Anfang der Digitalisierung. Vor allem fehlt oft eine valide Digitalisierungsstrategie. Kleinen und mittleren Unternehmen fehlen zudem oft die erforderlichen Kapazitäten und das Know-how für die Entwicklung eigener Online-Plattformen. Aber ein großes Angebot macht Marktplätze attraktiv. Ein Anbieter wühlt den B2B-Online-Markt derzeit auf. Mit mehr als 100 Millionen Produkten für Geschäftskunden setzt Amazon auch im B2B auf ein breites Angebot. Das Produktsortiment spricht eine große Zielgruppe an. Alleine für Handwerker und Hersteller sind aktuell über 5 Millionen Artikel gelistet. Der Erfolg kommt nicht nur durch das breite Angebot. Amazon bietet für Käufer und Verkäufer vor allen Dingen den gewohnten Komfort der B2C-Plattform hinsichtlich Produktverfügbarkeit, Produktsuche und Vergleich, Zahlungsabwicklung, Lieferlogistik, großzügige Retourenabwicklung und vieles mehr. Durch den Markteintritt großer B2C-Player wie Amazon in den deutschen Markt steigt der Digitalisierungsdruck auf das B2B-Segment nun erheblich. Gerade der klassische Großhandel ist von den wachsenden B2B-Marktplätzen stark bedroht, da Intermediäre zwischen Hersteller und Verbraucher, wie sie der Großhandel darstellt, obsolet werden. Wie angedeutet, müssen Marktplätze im B2B für Nutzer aber attraktiv gestaltet werden. Der Kunde beginnt die Customer Journey heute überwiegend digital. Suchmaschinen sind laut Umfragen auch im B2B der bevorzugte Startpunkt einer Kaufentscheidung. Aufgrund ihrer positiven B2C-Erfahrung vom privaten Online-Shopping erwarten immer mehr B2B-Einkäufer ein vergleichbares Einkaufserlebnis auch im B2B. Erfolgreiche B2B-Online-Player werden also eine exzellente Customer Experience bieten müssen. Es überrascht daher nicht, dass derzeit vor allen Dingen erfolgreiche B2C-Player wie Amazon mit Amazon Business den B2B-Markt erobern. Welche Möglichkeiten sich Ihnen bieten, vom Aufstreben der B2B-Marktplätze zu profitieren, wollen wir Ihnen in diesem Webinar darstellen. Mein Name ist Patrick Ganzmann. Ich bin einer der Gründer der ehemaligen Movento und seit 2014 Partner bei Valantic. Seit 1995 beschäftige ich mich mit CRM und Commerce, zuerst bei Kiefer und Feitinger, dem damaligen europäischen Marktführer für CRM, und dann nach der Übernahme von K&V bei der SAP. Heute verantworte ich das Beratungsgeschäft für Customer Engagement und Commerce bei Valantic und ich freue mich, Sie durch das Webinar begleiten zu dürfen. And remotely we have Alfred from Miracle. Alfred, please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you very much, Patrick. So I've joined recently Miracle 6 months ago, and I previously was working for a German wholesaler called Metro as Director of Strategy and also of Procurement. And I'm today heading the B2B business development with Miracle.
And Alfred will do the content part later of this webinar. Thank you very much, Alfred.
Sure, thank you.
Zur Agenda. Wir wollen Ihnen zuerst die beiden Unternehmen Valantic und Miracle näher bringen, mit denen Sie es hier in dem Webinar zu tun haben. Dann Ihnen darstellen, wohin wir glauben, dass der B2B-Markt sich gerade entwickelt und am Schluss über Marktplätze im Allgemeinen referieren. Zur Valantic. Warum gibt es eigentlich die Valantic? Wir haben gelernt, dass unsere Kunden gerne die Breite und Tiefe des Software- und Consulting-Angebots von Marktführern nutzen wollen. Gleichzeitig haben unsere Kunden die Geschäftsmodelle dieser großen Player allerdings durchschaut. Nach einem glänzenden Sales Pitch wird übergeben an ein Global Delivery Center mit einem Projektleiter, der jede Chance nutzt, den Leistungsauftrag zu dehnen. Hier sehnen sich unsere Kunden nach der Boutique, die flexibel agiert und mit hoher Management-Attention Qualität im Sinne des Kunden liefert. Was für die großen Player im Markt ein unlösbarer Zielkonflikt ist, hat Valantic zum Markenkern erhoben. Wir vereinen die Vorteile reaktionsschneller, exzellenter Teams mit der Leistungsfähigkeit einer großen Gruppe. Mit unserem Führungsmodell einer Partnerorganisation bieten wir einerseits die Größe, Leistungsfähigkeit und finanzielle Sicherheit eines Marktführers, behalten aber unsere Werte bei, auf deren Basis wir flexibel in ihrem Sinne handeln und hohe Qualität liefern, bei bestmöglicher Management-Attention von uns. Unsere durch Valantic-Partner geführten Competence Center bieten ein vollständiges Leistungsportfolio, um mit ihnen ihre Strategie der digitalen Transformation umzusetzen. Über exzellente Digital Customer Experience am Frontend, Big Data und Business Analytics, Datenschutz und Sicherheit, der Supply Chain Optimierung und Logistik bis hin zu Themen der künstlichen Intelligenz und IoT. All das leisten wir mit mittlerweile mehr als 700 Mitarbeitern, die in 13 Standorten in der Dachregion ihr Zuhause haben. Bei Customer Engagement und Commerce kümmern sich mehr als 120 Spezialisten darum, dass wir ihr Geschäftsmodell durch digitale Lösungen befeuern und damit ihr Business direkt beeinflussen. Denn wir sind der Meinung, gutes Design und eine gut funktionierende Online-Plattform reichen nicht aus, um Kunden ein einheitliches Erlebnis zu bieten. Die Basis für ein überzeugendes Kundenerlebnis sind die Verzahnung von Unternehmensstrategie, Prozessen und Systemen, was durch unseren Frontend-to-Backend-Ansatz gesichert wird. Und B2B ist unsere DNA. Als einer der wenigen Marktteilnehmern haben wir uns von Anfang an auf komplexe, hochintegrierte B2B-Plattformen konzentriert. Sie profitieren von mehr als 20 Jahren Erfahrung aus unzähligen Projekten. Valantic und Miracle, der Experte für Customer Engagement und Commerce und die führende Plattform für digitale Marktplätze, profitieren Sie von unserer erprobten Partnerschaft und Expertise.
Thank you very much, Patrick. So I'm very happy to share today a few of the learnings of Miracle today in the B2B e-commerce and platform environment. I'll first start by presenting Miracle and then some of the insights and key findings. So about Miracle, we're a French company created more than 5 years ago, and we have more than 150 customers across 40 countries, especially in Europe and the United States. Of which in these 150 customers, more than 30 who are B2B customers, ranging from manufacturers, wholesalers, to service companies. And we have customers today in countries such as France, Spain, and Germany. Also, something interesting to tell you is that we are based in Paris, and more than half of our employees today are developers, and we develop everything in-house. We have more than 80 developers developing and improving constantly our solution in Paris. We also have a team of more than 40 marketplace experts. These people were formerly in companies such as Amazon, eBay, most of the most famous companies you know in marketplaces, and they add value as they bring their expertise to the internal teams and also to our customers on a daily basis and to constantly improve their business. So we're a technology company, but we're also a company that supports on a continuous basis our customers to help them grow their business. So where's the B2B market going, and what are the key insights we have on B2B today? I will go through these slides, and of course there's time at the end for some questions if you need more details. So if you remember, I said there's no one B2B, but many verticals. And I think this slide is very interesting because it shows to you that there are differences across verticals. What you see on this slide here is the penetration, the share of B2B e-commerce in 2017 in red, and the projections in 2020. What's very interesting to see is that across all verticals, the penetration is increasing, but it is more important for some than the others. If you take the second one, office supplies, you can see that the penetration is very high versus, for example, food service at the end of the tail. This can be explained for a few reasons. The first is that the verticals where B2B e-commerce is more important is because Amazon has hit these markets. So typically, IT, phones, office supplies, these are the Amazon preferred categories. Why? Because Amazon is already present with these suppliers in B2C. So the frontier for going into B2B is not that thick, and they go into B2B with more ease. Food in B2C is very difficult for Amazon today, which explains that in B2B and in food service, they have more difficulty. That doesn't mean that the customers in the B2B space are not expecting a digital experience. It just means that the pressure from the external pure players like Amazon isn't giving us that sense of urgency as it does in furniture or office supplies. Another thing is, and this refers to the comments I gave on China. Today, logistics to handle food are much more complex than they are to handle office supplies. And this, I think you can perfectly understand. There are compliance issues. You have to deal with the freshness. You have to deal with the frequency of deliveries. And as long as the logistics and operational issues are not resolved, then the penetration will go up in these categories. So once again, to keep in mind, there's not one B2B in e-commerce. There are different verticals. Generally speaking, e-commerce is progressing and the penetration is going up, but it is more important in certain verticals versus others. We were talking about trends. What are the major trends? And you will see similarities with B2C. Basically, technology disruption. I think this is obvious. All kinds of technology are disrupting the B2B world. We've talked, I'm sure you've heard about blockchain, how it's disrupting the supply chain, for example. There are shifts in customer preferences and expectations. We talked about this already. Influenced by B2C, influenced by habits that have been created by pure players such as Amazon. There are generation shifts also. The younger generation is expecting to have a more digital experience. Although, as I said, if you look across age groups between seniors and millennials, there is an expectation for digital. It's just the level of unsatisfaction that changes. There are regulation changes too. RGPD, data protection is very important and has an influence on how B2B companies move into the digital space. And finally, there are new business models that are disrupting disrupting the traditional ways of doing things. And I think Amazon and Alibaba are a very good illustration of this. So these are the major trends. Once again, I don't think there is anything that's no novelty for you, but it just sums up the major disruptions. Just to describe the marketplace and to go back to basics, typically in a marketplace, you have three players. You have the operator who orchestrates the marketplace. You have the vendors who can sell services or products. And then you have the users and buyers on the other side. And here today, we're going to describe the four models that we see in B2B for operators. We have the first one that is similar to B2C, which is product and service range extension. So today you sell a certain set of products, and tomorrow you want to extend your products and services to create an ecosystem, a one-stop shop experience for your customers, and to be a solution provider for your customers. And now I will go into more details of some customers. Then we have what we call the procurement platform. This means that today you're a company with a very fragmented supplier base and a very large base of buyers. So typically international companies who have many, who have business units, who have many countries, and who want to streamline their costs, in particular their long tail of products under one unified platform. We also have the internal hub, which is typically used in companies who grow by acquisition and who have many BUs and who are conglomerates and who have a fragmented product catalog or inventory and want to unify this in an internal hub for all companies within the conglomerate to have a view of the catalog and the inventory. And once again, I'll give you some examples. And finally, the distributor platform, as I referred to in the typical concerns of channel conflict, this is a manufacturer wanting to sell direct to his customers, but avoiding channel conflict, as he will put his dealers on his platform, and I will describe this in an example. So, first one, product and service range extension. I will give the case of Metro, for example, company I used to work for. Metro works is a food service company, works with restaurants. Restaurants typically buy food and non-food, but today Metro does not address all the non-food long tail of products. Why not offer all the range of non-food products that they cannot be serviced and sold within stores today? Second of all, they don't offer all the services and the ecosystem of these food service and restaurants. For example, the major concern of restaurants today is how can I deal with all my administrative issues? How can I deal with hiring people within my restaurant, etc.? Why not offer these services such as cleaning, for example, also within my platform? And a third example is, why not offer local produce that I cannot deliver on a nationwide basis in my stores? So this is the case with Metro, how I can extend with a platform, a marketplace, into new products and services. I will skip to procurement platform and give you the case of Accor Hotels. Accor today is a major hotel chain, and they're addressing today the major concerns of B2B buyers. And just a few figures for you to put things into context. As I said, we ran a lot of studies on how B2B buyers today want to shop and want to use digital. And now we're focusing on professional B2B buyers. Well, typically B2B buyers across all generations say that marketplace is the second most important channel through which they want to buy. Of course, request for proposal will always remain the number one because this is the way purchasing functions today and will always function. But marketplaces are clearly indicated as being a channel with which they want to buy. And you can see that there's a clear difference between millennials and baby boomers, and this is what I explained. There is the generation shift is occurring. There is a difference. It's not significant, but you should still keep this in mind. When we talk about procurement, before I describe the Accor case, I think it's very important to describe the types of procurement. Typically, you have a Class A procurement, which is the strategic goods bought by professional B2B buyers and usually addressed with e-procurement systems. But a majority of the B and C and SKUs that are bought by companies, what we call also indirect purchasing or non-strategic purchasing, is not addressed today by many systems. And one of the pain points we typically see is that there's leakage of these purchasing, and there's potential for more savings and increased customer experience. And procurement platforms are typically very powerful to address this long tail of purchasing because it's very complex to address a large volume of SKUs and a large volume of suppliers. Here I put the typical pain points in the procurement space. Usually what we see is that there's a leakage of indirect purchasing. And I think you've experienced all this, and I've experienced it myself. You typically have guidelines to buy your indirect purchasing, where it can be pens, ink, or anything that is of use for a company. Typically, indirect purchasing is what a company buys, not to resell, but to function. And you've seen this yourself. You have guidelines, but you don't respect them. You cross the street, you just buy your supplies in the Papa Mom shop across the street and you expense it. The problem with this is that there's leakage and there's no opportunity to massify the purchasing and to create savings, and the purchasing team has no visibility on the expenses. So there's leakage, what we call rogue or maverick spending. There's also excessive complexity and administrative costs to deal with all these suppliers of the long tail, and usually indirect procurement struggles to manage with all the complexity. What we also see is that users, employees inside companies are very disappointed by the customer experience. They say they want an Amazon-like experience, like they see in Amazon Business, and the typical guidelines or systems internally don't address very well their concerns. And last one, as I said, and as we know, we always, this is what we've heard a lot, that data is the new oil. Well, it's true typically in the purchasing environment, and there's low visibility on user and supplier data. And these four concerns today are very well addressed by a procurement platform. So today, one of our customers, Accor Hotels. Accor is the leading hospitality chain with more than 95 countries, has thousands of hotels and different hotel chains. And they were struggling with their procurement because of the diversity of countries, diversity of suppliers, diversity of hotel chains. And what they decided to do is to create a platform where they would put other suppliers and address also the local suppliers, because one of the concerns today of Accor is my hotel in France is not the same as in Brazil. And to address these different hotels, they have local suppliers. But centrally, I'm incapable of dealing with this complexity. So how do I deal with this complexity? I ask my local suppliers to join my platform, and this is what they're doing. They have today national, worldwide suppliers and also local suppliers addressing all the needs of all their hotel chains, whereas it would be food or non-food products. And the beauty of this is that today this procurement platform is an internal platform, so it addresses only the needs of their internal hotels. But tomorrow, the willingness of Accor is to open this platform and to service all the hospitality segments. So it could be competitors or independent hotels. And once again, the power of this is that they will transform their internal procurement platform into, I'd say, a typical marketplace. And the procurement organization will become a typical, I'd say, traditional department of purchasing, and will become a new business unit for Accor. So I'm very excited, and we're very excited about this use case, because Accor is transforming its business and is actually creating a new revenue stream by first addressing the internal pain points, and second, becoming a marketplace addressing the hospitality environment. Distributor platform. We have a few customers in this space. I will give you the example of Hewlett-Packard. Typically, the pain points here are, I am a dealer like Hewlett-Packard. I sell electronic supplies, but I have no visibility and control over the dealer and distributor network. And I have lack of also data insights into what my customers need and buy. There's also the concern that I have today an internet site, which is usually an institutional site where I show my products, but I'm not able to sell. Usually you have a dealer locator, what gives you indication where you can buy, but the risk is missing a sale, because you don't know if the customer has researched and really bought your product. And the value of a marketplace and a digital experience for HP is that they are sure that there's an end-to-end experience, and that the customer not only researches his products, but buys his products. And the second thing is also that, once again, this poor customer experience. You have a customer who comes onto your site, but he really wants to go through the whole experience and purchase your product. How does HP address this? Well, typically, as I said, previously the manufacturer had a channel partner who handled the sale with the customer and had the data and the relationship. Well, tomorrow, the orchestrator and the operator of the marketplace will give the sale and continue to give the sale to the channel partner, but will have the direct relationship with the customer. So how does this happen? Well, HP considers its dealers as resellers and asks the dealers to connect onto its platform. So it's a win-win situation, and because the customer can have the end-to-end experience, because HP can have the direct contact with the customer and the data, and because the dealers will be given the sale. And the dealer sees an advantage here because HP is a strong brand and drives traffic onto its sites, so drives sales opportunities for its dealers. And HP sees the value, of course, because it can go direct to its customers. And this is how it looks for HP. HP has its product on the left, and this is the typical internet site. But on the right, you can see, well, the partner selling this product and giving also the level of availability of its products and the pricing. And the pricing can vary, which is not a problem, because it depends on the location and the delivery and the speed of delivery. What's really important for HP, above all, was not necessarily the price, but was the availability of the product. This is what the B2B customers claim is the most important. They're willing to pay, for example, a premium or not for availability, and this is why they've shown this on their sites. Okay, last one, and I hope you guys are keeping up with us. This is the last example of the internal hub. So IPH, which is an industrial supplier, typically provides safety supplies for industry. They actually changed name; they're called the Rubix now. This company is owned by a fund and has grown by acquisition, bolt-on acquisitions. The problem with these acquisitions is that these acquisitions were in different countries, but typically each country had an overlap in their assortments. And the problem was they had two solutions, or they could go through, replatforming all their ERPs and unifying in a very costly and long way all their product catalogs, or they used a platform, which they did, which is a layer on top of all the companies, and it's an internal hub where they ask each one of the companies to actually become a seller. So the layer that's on top, the unified layer, has a unified taxonomy, a unified catalog, and they ask each company to actually put their catalog put their catalog on this unified catalog. So each company has a common language, a harmonized language for their catalog. And the beauty of this is once the catalog is unified, they can open it externally to become a marketplace. So what we see is typically companies who have many companies who are conglomerates who have grown by acquisition take a year and a half to 2 to 3 years to unify their catalogs. IPH has done so in 6 months because they've accelerated the integration of their catalogs. It's quite a complex one. I say it's a niche platform, but it has a lot of value, as I said, for example, for private equity funds or companies growing by acquisitions. Few last slides to explain how today Miracle addresses the features and the concerns of B2B players. B2B and B2C have similarities, but they're not the same thing. And we today at Miracle understand B2B and understand this through the features we offer. I will not go necessarily in the details because we're coming to the end of the webinar, and I want to have some time for questions. But today, I mean, the major points and concerns are addressed by the Miracle solution, typically on pricing, like volume discounting or quotation, request for proposals, order management, payment, which is really important in B2B because there are specificities. The fulfillment too, because the types of fulfillment are different between B2C and B2B, and finally services. Okay, last slide, and happy to answer some questions. Valantic and Miracle will be present at the DMEXCO show in Cologne on September 12th, and we'd be very happy for you to join us. We will have Bruno from Miracle, who will be present there and who will be making a presentation at 10:30 on September 12th. So it's hall 6 and stand 10. So please join us, and we will be very happy to have a face-to-face interaction, go into more details of our use cases and answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Alfred. Vielen Dank, Alfred, für die Präsentation. Vielen Dank an die Zuhörer und Zuschauer im Auditorium. Herzlichen Dank. Wie gesagt, Sie bekommen die Aufzeichnung des Webinars von uns zur Verfügung gestellt. Wir hoffen, Sie hatten eine spannende Stunde mit uns verbracht zum Thema B2B Marketplaces und wünschen Ihnen einen tollen Tag. Auf Wiedersehen, auf Wiederhören.